Hey, this is Sensibility Speaks. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for stopping by, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So today I am going to do a reaction video to the Blueprint to a Healthy Relationship, which is hosted by CheMinistry. And now CheMinistry is a talk show on Fox Soul, and latishascott is the head of CheMinistry, which is a relationship platform that evokes conversations surrounding romantic relationships. Now, for those of you who watch Love and Marriage Huntsville, many of us who watched the show saw where latishascott interviewed Martell Hope last summer. And baby, let me tell you, she was a king and a sniggly and a ha-ha. The girl was smitten by old Marty Marr, okay? So that told me right there in and of itself, I was like, oh, she's a male-identified pick-me. Not just because she had a crush on him, but just the fact that she went in on Melody, was making little snide comments. And I think I'm going to drop down that video that I did because I really went in on her and just really picked that video apart. I'll drop it in the description. But basically, she's never been married, right? And I think the whole reasoning and the premise behind her doing this platform is because baby girl herself, she's looking for love. She's looking for a monogamous relationship. And she self-admitted that she hadn't been in a successful relationship for years. And so it's funny as you kind of watch these videos and these platforms that she hosts, that she's really sucking up information and she's learning and she's yearning for info so she can settle down. But in any case, Latisha and Marsauscott, they are going to be up here. And initially, when I wanted to review this video, I wanted to see how they were going to do, because they had a snippet to where they unpacked and talked about their intimate life, child. Whew, I did a little video on that. But listening to this, I was really intrigued by Sasha the Diva Harris, honey. Yes, okay. Her and her husband, who is hilarious, Kevin Harris Sr., and also renowned actor Michael Jai White, as well as his wife. I don't know if it's Jillian or Gillian. I'm going to call her Jillian White. But yeah, so we're going to dig into some things. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that I'm glad that she has an actual relationship expert on here. So she has Jack A. Daniels up here. Now, he's a psychotherapist, a 5-time best-selling author, award-winning speaker and TV personality, affectionately known as the King of Breakthroughs. Now, he is very insightful, and he's dropping a lot of pearls of wisdom from a male point of view. And I know when I watched, when she interviewed Martell Hope, for instance, she had Rebecca Lynn Pope, who I think is dope. She's a relationship life coach, guru, and all of that. Now, how are you going to host a relationship panel when you yourself aren't married or hadn't been in a successful relationship, you know, marriage and for everyone, but being in an otherwise successful relationship or partnership or what have you? And then, as I said before, you know, it kind of clicked, right? All 4 cylinders. I was like, she's doing this because she's trying to learn, okay? She's hosting and facilitating, trying to learn some gems because baby girl really wants to be settled down. But anyway, let's get into it.
But I want to talk to the Scotts. Marceau, why did you get married?
Why did I get married? Well,
Ooh, child, there she go with that giggling and cackling.
you know, she's my 3rd girlfriend of my life.
Okay.
And so throughout college, I really didn't have a girlfriend. I played as Omega Psi Phi at HBCU, so wasn't really a lot of room for girlfriends.
See, I don't think I believe you, Marceau, because I can distinctly remember Funky Deneva putting up a post back when he used to do a lot of commentary when the show first came on. A sister put in the comments that either her soror or her line sister had a close friend that used to go with Marceau back during undergrad, and that he dogged the hell out of her, cheating on her or whatever. I tend to believe that sister. I wish I would have screenshotted it, you know, had I known now, you know, that I would be doing commentary myself on this show, I would have damn screenshotted it. But anyway, I don't think I believe you, Marceau. Anyway, let's continue.
That came with a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot to manage. But at any rate, I remember we worked at the same place, and probably a little awkward in today's society, but I remember as she walked in, I could not stop staring at her. And for all the game that I thought I had, the only thing I could say to her as she walked past me was, you look like a real woman. and that was it. You know, we exchanged number. I gave her my number, told her, you know, if you want, you know, give me a call. At any rate, we just started talking like friends. We were on the phone just talking. And we went on our first date. And that was, I asked her to go to Home Depot with me because I was flipping this house while I was in school. And I remember me going there and picking out the tile and coming back in. She just kind of put her arms around me and said, wow, this is going to look so nice. And I really felt like she believed in me.
Okay.
And that was the moment I just kind of said, man, I'll be with her forever.
All right. Aw.
See, Marcel knew what he was doing. He got Tisha when she was green and ripe for the picking. He knew he had her hook, line, and sinker, okay? Girlfriend hangs on to his every thought, his every word, his every whim. She probably feels his emotions before she feels her own, okay? He is her whole identity, the marriage, the kids, everything. But no, you see that sister in the audience giving him the side eye like, that's my feeling exactly and my sentiment. No, you weren't completely authentic in what you said. Now, you probably knew that she didn't have high enough standards to expect a whole lot of you and from you, and that she didn't even really know herself. And we'll get into that in just a bit. See, you knew you can do very little to impress her. You got her from the backwoods of Bessemer, Alabama, even though she was probably living in Huntsville. I'm imagining Alabama A&M is in Huntsville, Alabama. But whatever the case may be, you knew that she was green, nose wide the F open, okay? And you took advantage. And you know that she didn't have high standards, and you knew it would take very little to impress her, and you knew you had her, right? Because you knew how you were. You know, you're chauvinistic, misogynistic, and all of those istics, right? And you knew that you could run circles around that girl. Okay, let's continue.
Welcome back to CheMinistry. We are talking about a blueprint to a healthy relationship. So now I'm going to direct my next question to latishascott. What work, if any, did you do to prepare for marriage?
Let's see. Actually, when we met, I was a senior in college, so I wasn't even thinking about marriage. I was more so thinking about my career and moving out of Alabama. So I would say I actually worked on me. Like, I had me together. So it wasn't about, a man coming along. I was single because I just wasn't focused on relationship at all. So I would say the thing I did was I had Tisha together.
Okay.
Tisha, baby, you know what? You are a hope and a dream deferred, honey. That Marceau scooped her up so young, her brain wasn't even fully developed. Our prefrontal cortex as humans don't fully develop until the age of 25. Sister, you didn't even get to live out your 20s and just work in your established career field, because wasn't she interning in either Texas or California? I can't remember which, but she said that she wanted to start her career, be single, no kids. But of course, as you grow and mature, that may change. But she wanted to live her life. She needed to get to know her. Tisha didn't have a chance just to get grounded, to get focused into her own sense of self before this Negro scooped her up. But she was a willing participant, right? And the fact that Chanel Scott seemed underwhelmed with her answer. And we're going to go on to hear a more mature and sophisticated response from Sasha the Diva Harris, honey. Two different people, two different life experiences. But it's almost so telling as to why Marceau was able to get over on her. Because I know I said in another video, and others have said in countless videos as well, how he has put so much debt in this girl's name, right? And many of us are aware about the lawsuit that Skull Industries Incorporated versus Zen Gardens LLC et al. I can remember a few of the other bloggers. I can't remember which one of them broke it first, but when the shit hit the fan, when they talked about when that lawsuit came about. So it says, like, in the complaint, plaintiff stated Scope is a Tennessee corporation with its principal place of business located in blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to say the address. Nashville, Tennessee. Owner is a limited liability company organized under the laws of the state of Delaware, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, plaintiff also stated VS Ventures LLC, a limited liability corporation organized under the laws of the state of Delaware with its principal place of business located in XYZ. But the plaintiff then alleged on February 24th, 2020, owner and Scope entered into a contract wherein Scope agreed to perform certain construction services and furnish certain materials, and owner agreed to timely pay Scope for such construction work, services, and materials, all in connection with Zen Garden apartment complex, which is the project. Owner owns the described property and owned the described property when Scope furnished the materials and provided the labor and services. So in a nutshell, they are alleging and suing Scope Industries for providing subpar, allegedly, services and materials and didn't meet their end of the bargain for the contract for which they were supposed to do for the apartment complex, etc. And even though I'm reading this verbatim, I'm going to throw in for good measure, all of this is alleged. But to get to the point, the lawsuit is for $804,321.35 for alleged breach of contract, right? And this case was filed in the U.S. District Court of Northern District of Alabama. I'm not going to say the judge's name who is presiding over it. Now, I have heard that Scope Industries or the Scotts are countersuing as well as Zen Gardens. I don't know if this particular lawsuit has settled yet, but saying all of that to say, since Tisha is a 51% majority shareholder of Scope Industries, I'm wondering how the bear of the brunt will fall as it relates to the debt. But since they are a limited liability corporation, it's not like they're a sole proprietorship to where they can come after you individually and your personal assets, but still, because I know that she had that apartment building in her name, and allegedly they said they were like slumlords and the city came after them because they weren't keeping up to code and things like that. But just saying that to say, as green as he found her, and now that she's maturing and she's in her maturation stage, just about, what is she, 40 years old, 40, 41, she needs to pull the veil from over her eyes, right? She needs to be able to see clearly. I like the fact that she's trying to find her voice and she's working in commercial real estate and she's trying to come into her own. And as I've said in other videos, as long as you're not trying to down another sister, right? As long as you're not trying to put your proverbial foot on another sister's neck in order to make yourself elevate or come up, you'll be fine. Stop competing where you don't compare. You can't compare to Melody Cherie. You need to sit your ass down and learn. But let's listen to, again, a more mature response from Sasha Diva. Honey, that sister could host her own relationship panel. But again, she's a motivational speaker. She's a MC and all of that stuff. But just love her. But let's just listen to her and just to hear the difference in the responses.
Out of a first marriage, right, and going into a second marriage, what work did you do to prepare for marriage?
I really didn't do any work. I just watched my parents, who were married for 46 years before my dad passed away. And I watched that relationship, the love, the support, the oneness, family eating together, the submissiveness of my mother to a husband. And a lot of times people don't want to hear about the submissive, a woman being submissive. So watching them help me get prepared to be a wife. But one of the things my dad had to say to me one time was, okay, look at here, chickadee, you can't be the man and the woman. So which is it going to be? I need you to back down a little bit because of that alpha personality. You want a real man, and a real man and how you are is too much. And I was like, whatever, child. But my daddy was right, because I found the real man and I was okay to be submissive to a real man. And his name is Kevin Boo.
Okay, all right. But I got to ask you, right, because this is your second marriage.
Yes.
What did you do different this time that you didn't do the first time?
So the first time it was, I was pregnant and it was play. I wanted to be married, but I wanted to be married and I didn't want to be married. And I just wanted to put a gown on. I wanted to be at the church. I wanted to say I do and all of that. And I did it. And I did it without my father being there. And my father told me, I'm not coming to something that's not going to last. and I give you 5 years. And my father hit it on the nose. So it was nothing wrong with him. I didn't really know myself. I wasn't in my career. I had this young kid. I'm just like all over the place. So he didn't hate me. I didn't hate him. We were really cool. And I just decided one day that this was not good for me, and I wanted to move on and ended the relationship, and we just co-parented.
So you heard the difference in responses when Chanel Scott asked Sasha the Diva, what was her preparation for marriage? What did she do to prepare? Now, her and Letitia, in all fairness, they're two different people. Sasha the Diva, with her fierce self, she's a nationally syndicated radio and television personality. But say if she were the woman in church, your colleague, co-worker, your neighbor, okay? She could have given a somewhat similar response. So it seems like her blueprint essentially for a healthy marriage was what she witnessed growing up. She grew up in a two-parent family, and apparently they instilled certain norms and values and moral fiber into her. And sometimes those words can go unspoken. It's just actions, it's things that you see. So that was definitely her foundation in terms of what a healthy marriage looks like. And it seems like she had a strong father figure, because he told her she shouldn't have gotten married to her first husband that she had her son by, and didn't attend a wedding, saying that to say she had a strong male presence to help guide her, because it's the yin and the yang. It takes the feminine energy, the masculine energy. It takes it all. It takes a village to raise a child. So let's talk about Letitia Scott. In all fairness, she didn't have a good foundation because she dealt with Wanda. And we all know what Wanda gives. We know what she brings. So essentially, Tisha went from her mama's house to Marceau's house, okay? Meaning she went from college directly into having an internship for a couple, 2-3 months, and got pregnant, got married, and the rest is history, right? So she never developed a strong sense of self. Wanda didn't raise her to be a strong person, because Wanda is a strong character and personality in and of herself. Tisha is somewhat shy, a little introverted, and her mom probably ran her shyer over her, meaning Tisha didn't have a voice because Wanda is just so in your face, right? And even if she didn't mean to stifle Tisha, essentially she did. We can see how Wanda tries to live vicariously through Tisha on Love and Marriage Huntsville. A lot of this, oh, I'm going to protect my daughter. You're not going to talk about my daughter. A lot of that is attention-seeking behavior, because Wanda herself wants to be seen, okay? So all of this wanting to take up for a 40-year-old daughter. No, honey, you just want camera time. We see you, Wanda. So again, Tisha didn't have that strong foundation. And Kiki said herself that Tisha didn't really date in college and in high school. And so if she met Marceau her senior year, and she didn't really have that much experience with men, and she went to an internship, for a summer, got pregnant, came back, and married Marceau, she didn't get to live her life. But you can see the dichotomy in the answers from someone who's lived a life, the maturity level and life experiences, versus Tisha. As she's talking, she's almost like a giddy schoolgirl in her responses, like a 20-something-year-old herself, just grinning and kikiing back and forth and rocking back and forth like a shy schoolgirl, as opposed to a self-assured woman. So I am going to do a part 2 to this video, because there's a lot to unpack. And also, thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and drop down and tell me what you think. And all right, so until we meet again, bye-bye.